Well, you're a lot better at traveling than I am. I had a trip last week, so I wasn't able to make this meeting, but I felt like even that one trip, I was like all, behind for the rest of the week somehow. And I don't know how that happens, but I need to get more into the practice of that and getting used to it again. It's been so long since I've gotten used to that.
Right. Yeah, you're right. It's like playing sports. If you get out of it, it will wear you down. Back from, where was I? I forgot where I was last week. I forget. I'm sorry. I was in Tennessee. Chattanooga, Nashville, and some other places, but good time.
Sorry, Connor. Didn't mean to interrupt you if you were going to kick us off.
Oh, no, you're good. I'm just looking at the clock. We're good?
Yes, we're good.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honorable guests, and welcome to our Queen City Toastmasters meeting. My name is Connor Waite. I'm our Sergeant of Arms, and I now call this meeting to order. Could anyone guess how many people per day move to Charlotte? 200 as one guess. Does anyone else? What was that? 120, very close. 90, 99. It is 115 people move to Charlotte every day on average. That is what I read here before coming today. That was a random fun fact of the day. Our theme of the day is goofing off with a purpose, I believe. Almost goofing off. That is our theme of the day, and I look forward to seeing what you guys have as speeches. We have a packed house for today, and with that, I'll hand it off to our president, Vanessa Waller.
Thank you, Connor, and welcome to everyone. I see we have a pretty good group in person. For those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Vanessa Waller. I'm currently the president of Queen City Toastmasters, and I'm delighted to join you at least virtually over Zoom. I know we have a few other Zoom participants joining us, and it looks like we just have the one guest on Zoom, and maybe we have some guests joining us in person as well. So I'll rely on club officers who are there on the ground, so to speak, if there are guests who want to say hello. But I do have a guest joining us on Zoom, Matthew. So welcome, Matthew. And usually what we do is we just say, if our guests would like to introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about how you found us and your interest in joining Toastmasters. Matthew, I don't know if you want to just say hello to everyone. I know we have a group here on Zoom and also in person.
Yes, thank you so much. I wanted to sort of improve my public speaking ability. I had a bit of a traumatic incident when I was a child. and as I'm sure many of you know, public speaking is I think it's one of the #1 fears in America amongst people. And so I Googled different groups and Toastmasters came up. And so I'm happy to be here, and I look forward to joining in person next week, if I can.
Wonderful. We are glad you are here. And definitely everyone here has had to overcome some level of nervousness about taking the stage and leaping into Toastmasters. So we're all here just helping each other become a little bit better at this skill that, you're right, is often cited as one of the more scary things according to surveys of the general public. So I think you're in a good place, in a good group. But yeah, thank you for joining us. And do we have any in-person guests who would like to introduce themselves before we get going?
Yes, we have a very special in-person guest. Last week, she was here. We had a great conversation, and she honored her word. She came back again. I'd like for you to introduce your name, where you're from, and why you come to Toastmaster. Please give her a round hand of applause.
Good evening. My name is Joy Mitchell. This is my third time here, actually. And I do have plans on joining. I'm just not sure when. So until that time, I'll just keep coming back. And I have a fear of public speaking. So that is why I'm here. I did a search and Toastmasters came up. So that's why I'm here.
Wonderful. And Harvey, is your name Joy or Joni? I was having trouble hearing in Zoom.
Joy, her name is Joy. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. All right, well, welcome, Joy. We're glad you could join us tonight. All right, well, if that's all our guests, I don't want to hold us up too much because I know we have 3 amazing speakers lined up tonight. So without further ado, I will turn it over to a special member of our group who will be leading tonight's meeting. And she is our Toastmaster of the evening. And that is none other than Madeline Green. So let's give a warm welcome to Madeline.
Good evening, Toastmasters and honored guests. Thank you for joining our Toastmasters meeting for tonight. So I will be your Toastmaster, and I will have an honorary Toastmaster of the evening, Mr. No More Working. So as you come up to the stage, please feel free to interact with them. Why is he here, you may ask? Today is March 22nd, and it is International Goof Off Day. That's a real holiday, and no, I didn't goof off all day. I actually worked. But it's a holiday that's been celebrated since 1976. It was the brainchild of a 10-year-old who felt like she was so busy, she wanted a day off to do absolutely nothing. I don't know what the 76 or the 70s were like that a 10-year-old was that busy, but that's the genesis of the holiday. But she really did strike a nerve. People felt like it was a great idea. So this holiday was born where people felt like it was a day to take an entire day off and goof off. What is goofing off? It could be anything, right? It's something that doesn't feel like work, isn't productive, and is fun. And I feel like some members of our audience got the idea because Dr. Harvey and Julian had an arm wrestling contest right before we kicked off the meeting tonight. So in the spirit of that, I will be talking about ways you can goof off, different things around goofing off, but I just hope we can have fun tonight. As I said, when you come up, feel free to interact with our prop here and we will have a good night. So what is goofing off for me? It's a number of things. It's taking a break, it's walking. Towards the end of the meeting, I will ask some of you what your favorite ways to goof off are. So let's have a fun night tonight. So let's kick off the meeting with introducing some of the team members who will be helping to facilitate the meeting tonight, starting with our timer, who is Mr. Jimmy Cruz. And I think we have a second timer in the room, Colin.
Great, thank you for that introduction, Madam Toastmaster. As timer, I'm sorry, my name is Jimmy Cruz, and I am the secretary of this phenomenal group. As timer, I will be timing the table topic speakers, formal speeches, and evaluations. I will be giving an alert that will notify everyone of where they are or where they are in their speeches. On my screen, you will see a green background. Can everyone see this? Red background. I'm sorry, the green background will indicate where you are as far as reaching your time. The yellow background will indicate that you are getting closer to the end of the time of the speech. So if it's 1 to 2 minutes, if you're at that 2 minute mark or 1 minute and 30 second mark, I will be indicating that it's yellow. And then if you've reached the 2 minute mark, which is towards the end of the speech, it will turn red. I'll just leave this up for the red part. Now, as for the table topics, we should try to limit the remarks to no more than 2 minutes. So those are typically 1 to 2 minutes. So I'll raise that green card at the 1 minute mark. This is a pretty shorter round for the time speeches. At the 1 minute and 30 second mark, it'll turn yellow. And at that 2-minute mark, it will turn red. Icebreaker speech will be 4 to 6 minutes. It will be cadenced off at a minute apiece. So starting at the 4-minute mark, so forth, out to 6. And most other speeches that we have tonight, seems like we have 3 wonderful speakers coming up today. That will be 5 to 7 minutes. I will also be doing individual evaluations. Those should be 2 to 3 minutes apiece. And the general evaluator speech, I believe, and please somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that speech should be 4 to 6 minutes. Am I correct with that?
2 to 3.
So yes, thank you.
Okay. All right, great, thank you. I believe that is everything, and back to you, Madam Toastmaster. Look forward to the meeting.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Jimmy. Colin needs to come up here as well. All right, so next off we have our grammarian of the evening, Toastmaster John Capello.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. And to the gnome, your cousin, the elf on the shelf, causes me a lot of stress. Okay. Tonight I'll be serving as your grammarian. And one of the responsibilities of being the grammarian is to watch your effective use or ineffective use of grammar. Problem is I'm not so good at grammar, so I'm not going to focus as much on that. More importantly, we're going to watch for the dreaded use of filler words, the ums, the so's, the nos, the likes that can even plague even the most veteran of Toastmasters. Now, why do we use filler words? Somehow do we think consciously or subconsciously that those filler words somehow are better than what might be perceived as awkward silence? Let me explain, however, why a pause instead might be far better and have far greater impact. Real quick example, speaker 1. Well, you know, so anyway, like the sky is blue. Speaker number 2. Ladies and gentlemen of Queen City, I'm here to tell you that the sky is red. 2 speakers, one told the truth, one told the non-truth. One spoke riddled with filler words and unsure of himself. Speaker 2 was confident and utilized the pause. So it's very important that we follow, think about in your own mind, which one of those speakers do you believe more? Which one of those speakers captured your attention? Now, my second role of the day is to introduce the word of the day. And that word is moxie. Let's get the definition of moxie. The definition of moxie is to have energy, force of character, or aura of determination, grit, or nerve. Synonym might be backbone, grit, guts, or fortitude. Used in a sentence. I was very impressed with Speaker 2's moxie in John's example. He had plenty of confidence and it captured my attention. You utilize the word moxie in today's meeting at any point in time, and I will give you special kudos at the end of the meeting. So tonight, good luck to all our speakers. Let's embrace the pause and reduce and be mindful our use of filler words. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster John. So before I jump into our next role, wanted to give another shout out to Mr. No More Working. He took our theme very seriously. Usually he stares all day at a wall, but he felt like that was too much work. So he pulled his hat over his eyes so he didn't have to do anything else today. So next role up here is our ballot counter, Toastmaster Colin Stifler. And I believe he may be on Zoom. Oh no, he's in person.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. My name is Colin Stifler. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you fine people on this glorious Tuesday, and also to those on Zoom as well. I hope you're enjoying yourselves wherever you may be. My role tonight is to impartially tally up your opinions as to who the best speaker, table topic speaker, and speech evaluator are. So please pay close attention during those speeches so that you can attribute your opinion as to who carried the day. To everyone who is here in person, you are in possession of a paper ballot for the, or to minimize distraction to those who are speaking. Please go ahead and rip up that ballot now along the punctured lines, because at the end of each speech, each table topic speech, and each evaluation, I will go around and collect all of your votes. To those who are attending online, please message privately your votes to the Club View. If you're unfamiliar with what the Club View is, I'm waving at you now, staring directly into the camera. So please click the 3 dots in the top right corner and elect to send a private message to that account. Have I missed anything? Forgive me, this is my first time as ballot counter. It's an immense responsibility. All right. That is all. Thank you in advance for tearing up those ballots to the Toastmasters and honor guests who are here in person. And I yield my time back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Colin. I couldn't tell that was your first time you did that with such moxie. So before we move into our prepared speeches, wanted to give you a few reasons why goofing off can be a good thing and even a necessary thing. Life is hectic for all of us. We're running around, we're working out, we're taking care of kids, feeding ourselves, the list goes on, and we are all really stressed. So the best reason to goof off every once in a while is just to lower your stress level. When you take a pause, you lower your stress level, and scientists have linked that to even being a good boost for your immune system. Another reason to do that is mental, right? A lot of times when you have a to-do list, you're so focused on getting things done, you're not doing them with your creativity or originality. You're just trying to make it through. But sometimes if you take a quick pause, it can spark some creative thinking, some originality, some spunk, and you might get that task done a lot better than if you just rush through it to finish whatever you had to get done. And then last reason is heart health, right? When you're happy doing fun things, you're releasing endorphins in your body. And again, research says that it brings your your cortisol levels down, and it can lead to you being more heart healthy. So those are the reasons to take creative pauses throughout the day, throughout the week. I wish we had lives where we could just completely unplug, like the 10-year-old who thought about this day, but hopefully we can find ways to creatively put some pauses into our lives and improve our health, our mental well-being, and all the other benefits I just talked about. So on to our prepared speeches. I'm so excited for tonight. We have 3 phenomenal speakers. So I will go through introducing each of them to come up to the stage and give us their speeches. Our first speaker is none other than Toastmaster Sarah Mary, Toast. And the title of her speech is Network Like a Champ. So she is completing level 3 from the Strategic Relationships Pathway. And her goal for this project tonight is to make connections through networking.
Thank you. So we've all been to a million networking events, right? And we all know the procedure. You walk in, the conversation starts, and there's 2 questions. What's your name? Which should be an easy one, especially if there's name tags involved, unless you sound like John's first example and you walk in uncertain, maybe people won't believe that that's your name. And then the second question is, what do you do? What do you do can be a very simple question to answer, unless you give a boring answer. A good answer to what do you do can be the difference between starting a great conversation or ending one. Maybe making a really great strategic relationship or never getting the chance to. That's why I think the most important tool you can have in your back pocket during a networking event is the elevator pitch. The elevator pitch can seem so simple, yet those 3 quick sentences are so compact with tons of information about who you are as a person, why you're interesting, why what you do matters. It can kind of be overwhelming to make that sentence just stick just right. So what I'd like to do today is to go through a couple of tips and tricks that I've discovered over some researching that I've done in preparation for this presentation. So what's the point of the pitch? The point is to offer a brief but compelling overview of what you do, what you offer, and who you are. The perfect elevator pitch should be 27 words, 9 seconds, and have 3 points, because you're literally getting off on the next floor, right? And you got to leave some room for questions. So you want to take it to that first floor, you want to have it done and hold the door for a question, and then you want to finish strong. So when I was researching, I found that the 3 points are I am, the value that I offer, and how I can help. The problem with this structure I found was that starting with yourself, who I am, didn't seem to work. So I kind of want to flip it on its head, because as Theodore Roosevelt said, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So I think sharing value, sharing how I can assist, how I can change your life, and then I'll tell you who I am, maybe your ears will be a little bit more open to my advice. So let's start with how I can help. So this is where you figure out who your audience is, what their needs are. You want to get really specific on this. Who is it that your service or your product can make better? Who is that audience? And get to know the need. And we get to know that need by really effective listening. So tons and tons of questions, lots of research, really knowing who it is that we're addressing when we offer our pitch. The second thing is the value that I offer. How am I going to transform your life after you buy my service, buy my product, engage in a conversation with me? What's the change? How are you going to transform once you leave here? What's going to be different about your life? Why will it be better? And then the I am. So who I am, what I do. Maybe then you can restate your name in case they forgot it already. Okay, next. So what I found with all of these elevator pitches is that you can also include a hook. Now, personally, I don't count the hook in the 27 words of your elevator pitch. I'm cheating a little bit, but also a hook can come or go. You can take it or leave it inside of an elevator pitch. So some of the hooks that I researched and didn't love so much were, I make dreams come true. I'm a wedding planner and I plan dream weddings, right? So the hook is, I make dreams come true. Cute. It's cute. If I'm a warm and fuzzy guy, I manage a pet store. Also cute. It's cute. It's also a little corny, and not all of us are great with corny. Some of us can really pull it off. Others of us cannot. Another couple funny ones. I'm responsible for the country's future. Okay, well, you're thinking, I got to hear this, right? I'm a teacher shaping future minds. Not untrue, not untrue. Very true, but maybe still just a little too corny for some of us. And then the last one that I found that I liked, I show women where to find the fountain of youth. I'm a cosmetologist. So all cute, all quippy, all get you engaged immediately. It's accomplishing the goal of what a hook is supposed to do. John, you're a hilarious guy. You could pull this off. I could not pull this off. So what I found that works better for me is finding common ground. What common ground does is it states a universal problem. It shares an experience. It offers empathy in a similar situation. So you can use this as your hook. What I recommend doing is turning it into a question and getting somebody to ask, so what? So an example of an elevator pitch using the common ground is something like, instead of saying, whenever you're ready, that's okay, I am a wealth manager, okay? Good, we know who you are, but what can you really offer me? So your common ground is, you know how most people feel like they're on a hamster wheel and just trying to make ends meet? Your elevator pitch is, well, I help people save and spend their money wisely so they can enjoy their lives now and the benefits of residual income in retirement. Okay, I'm in, right? I'm absolutely in. I want money now and later. You're hooked and you feel empathetic. You feel like somebody really understands you and sees the situation that you're going in with your money. You're not just a number to them. Another one is, I'm an at-home chef. So the common ground is, you know how most families are too busy to sit down and enjoy a meal together anymore? And if they do, they're usually grabbing takeout. Well, the elevator pitch is, I cook and deliver ready-made healthy meals so families can spend more time together instead of stressing over the logistics of dinner. So this is a way that you turn your elevator pitch into a story. You address a need, you share an empathetic experience, and you let your audience know that you can transform them and you understand them. and then you tell them who you are. So you know how we get to points in our life where we just feel stuck? Well, I help individuals and companies like Goodwill and Penske move forward in health, personal fulfillment, and business. I'm the business development director, speaker, and well-being consultant for Lead Professionals Group. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sarah Mary. And I think you left this up here by accident. There you go. Really great speech. I'm actually going to a networking event tomorrow night, so I will be using some of those tips. So our second speaker for tonight is our Toastmaster, Andrea Chocolate Butterfly Williams. And the title of her speech, excuse me, is A Way of Escape. I cannot wait to hear that. She will be completing level 3 from the Dynamic Leadership Pathway, and her goal tonight is to demonstrate active listening skills. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Andrea.
Sorry. And a way of escape. Sometimes you're in a room and there's all these people around you and they're talking to you, but you are in your head, or how many of you have been in your head trying to figure out, how can I get out of here? Right. I've been there. Imagine Christmas 2017, well, 16, Detroit, Michigan, city of Detroit. And I was walking into the office. I'm walking into the office. We're in this conference room because they're remodeling our office. And all of a sudden, I hear, okay, how do I get out of here? Because everybody had a piece of candy. They had one piece of candy and they were all opening it at the same time. How do I get out of here? I go to my supervisor. I say, I need you to get my coat. I need you to get my purse because I can't leave. It's Detroit, Christmas, cold, riverfront. Nope, can't leave office without these items. So I go up to my supervisor who was in an important meeting, and I was aware. But by the time I got to her, I was hysterical. My anger had took over and I was crying. I was crying because everybody with that candy knew I couldn't be around a Snickers bar, a Almond Joy, a Payday bar, and they all had them in their hands. Next day, my supervisor decided, I'm going to give you a written warning for being unprofessional, for getting me out of this meeting. She didn't want a way of escape. I politely told her, remember, I have an airborne nut allergy that everybody isn't aware and everybody knows the accommodation. Moving on, I travel and I moved to New York and I become the finance manager. Wow, I found my way of escape, so I thought. I walk into a boardroom and my director, again, is standing there with all this candy. And she's so excited to give everybody, all the managers, an appreciation. The appreciation went something like this, not like that. But the presentation went something like this. I wanted to let you guys know that I know it's not payday. She gives out a payday. And I know that sometimes we all snicker and she gives out Snickers. And I'm like, okay, I'm leaving. I needed a way of escape. because everybody was ready to open that candy. So I got written up again for being unprofessional and insubordinate. My way of escape was my pink slip that they gave me. 2018, springtime, the goofball season, I got introduced to this wonderful organization called Art Oh My. And I came in with my PTSD of hearing this noise and feeling like nobody would care. And I had to explain to these people again, I have this airborne allergy. I need you not to have these products on the vicinity. And I just knew that's gonna be it. I didn't need a way of escape. That was my way of escape. They embraced me. They took care of me. They made sure, even when kids came in from groups of schools, they told them up front, we do not allow nut products in our facility. They can have them outside, but they can't have them in the gallery because we care. Goofball Day 2022, I work for Wells Fargo. We're going back in the office. I'm sitting at home about a month ago, and I'm listening to the CEO of the commercial banking, and he's so excited to tell us, guess what, guys? We're going back into the office. My way of escape was remote work office. I was happy. I'm very happy. I'm safe. I don't have to worry about this noise, because if this noise is in my house, it's something safe. And I walk and I look and I'm listening. Now, all I could hear was this. He was talking about the restaurants and the daycare and the this and the that. And my supervisor, she wants to have a meeting and she wants to talk about it. The only thing I could hear was this. It was PTSD. I hear nuts. All I hear is this. I hear a whole bunch of people like right now. I need a way of escape, because I'm hyperventilating, just thinking about me in a place, in a room full of people making this noise. And they could be innocent. They could not even have anything with nuts in it. But because my brain has PTSD and I have an anxiety problem with it, I need a way of escape. My way of escape was me speaking up. Sometimes you have to take the initiative to ask the question. Is there an alternative measure? When you're looking for a way of escape, you often look for doors. What doors, what interests can I get out of here in? How can I make a statement to end this conversation? You need to ask the question, can we have this conversation later? Can we talk about this at another time? These are all things that I've learned to do. Or can I have an accommodation because this does not suit me? Don't be afraid to just speak up. Because when you speak up, you might not just save your life, but you may save someone else's. You may not have to deal with the stress, the PTSD, and looking for a way of escape, because your way of escape is usually in your mouth and the power of your tongue. And with that, I say thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Andrea. I empathize with you with those issues, and hopefully you get things resolved with Wells. Woo! That was a great story. Thank you. So our third speaker of the night is Dr. Harvey Tran, and the title of his speech is, in my best voice, mimicking him, "Don't Tell, Show." So he will be completing level 3 from our presentation mastery pathway.
Thank you, Toast Madam Modeling. Wasabi. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and honorable guests, both online and also in real person. Tonight, I'm going to deliver to you a speech with the title, Show But Don't Tell. Now I want to dedicate this speech beyond my wife and my kid to all of those who have anxiety speaking in public, and those of you who have the fear of speaking in front of large crowd of people, and I'm one of them. So here I am, and I made a determination to deliver a speech every single week, to be at the lectern at my church every single week. St. Matthew, the largest Catholic church in North America, me standing up there. So I want to dedicate this to you. Now raise your hand. Do you believe there's something seriously wrong with our educational system? All right, let me share with you my experience with the educational system through a story of my former student. His name is Adam Lomas. So after graduating from college, I was lost. You're talking about completely lost. I did not know what I wanted to do with my life. Everything in my life was being pushed by my dad, who was a high-ranking officer for the South Vietnam Army. Those guys, he killed hundreds of people. He was in the war, in the trenches, sleeping in tree under the ground, the tunnel. So those guys are hardcore. You never argue with him. He instructed me something, I absolutely do it. Focus on the how. Never ask him the why. So anyhow, in my path, I was so lost. After graduation from college, I went to UNC Charlotte because I spent the first 2 years at UNC Charlotte. I don't like school, I hate school, but I was really good at it. Chemistry came to me naturally. In high school, I won the best chemistry student award. I never show up in class for half of the time, always skipping school. Teacher, I don't know what, maybe he smoked something, he gave me that award. I did not even went and take the award. Truth be told, I never even went to any of my graduation, even college, even high school, because I was busy working. Out of that, I was hanging out with my friends. Anyhow, because of what God gave me, I was able to get a job as a supplemental instruction teacher at UNC Charlotte. It's similar to a TA job. So I went and asked Dr. James Harvick. He looked like a football player. He's built like Julian, yes. And in arm wrestling, I was very moxie. I did not let him beat me. Still number one, but I'm tied with him. So Dr. Harvick let me taught his class, general chemistry. And in that class, I met this gentleman. His name is Adam Lomas. He's one of the shy guys, always sitting in the back. He would come to class and you would never notice he even exists. The reason that I noticed him is because he looked very Asian. He looked like me, but he's half Chinese and half Caucasian. One day, Adam came to me and said, Harvey, I'm a second-year engineering student. Can you help me? I need to pass this class. I need to pass this class because my parents, they have high hope for me. So I told Adam, he spoke very softly, and I told him, Adam, listen, I'm going to help you, but you got to help yourself. Come tomorrow to see me at 6 a.m. in the morning, and don't bullshit me. You bullshit me one time, and that's it, you out. So every morning, Adam came to me. I worked with him on a one-to-one basis. I noticed that this guy's not listening. No wonder why he got a 46 on his first exam, and he came to me. Anything that I instructed him, he just let it go from one ear to another. But then when I start to draw a picture, I was like, you're smarter than me. You should not be in this position. And then we shifted gears. Everything we do, just visual. Forget about auditory, visual. I drew out a picture of all the chemical, the ions, the flow of electron. We hit it from the bottom, the top, the side way. Every single way humanly possible. When it came to the exam time, I asked Adam, come to me 30 minutes before the exam start. Let's go over the material. I want to make sure you understand this, not you memorizing it. A week later after the exam, usually Dr. Harvick just passed out the paper to all the students and he never say anything. He's a big football guy. You look at him, you think he's extremely tough and everything, and he is. He's just not the kind of guy that would explain or give big hug like what Dr. Laxer liked to do. So he's not like that. But that day, there was a big difference. Dr. Harvick asked Adam Lomas, please stand up, Adam. Everyone was quiet. I look at Adam. Did this guy smoke weed? What did he do? Is he in trouble? Dr. Harvick asked the whole class, please welcome, let Adam, give him a hand of applause. I never seen this happen in my entire life. He moved from a 46 to a 97, the highest grade in our class. Give Adam a round hand of applause. And then after Adam, there was James Heck. He looked like one of those punk rockers. He looked completely off the wall. I was like, this guy, are you crazy? What the heck is this? And that was his last name. But I worked with him. James had a 99. He was even more crazy than Adam. Then I worked with so many other students. I spent over 100 hours each week getting up early. And Helen knows I love to sleep in. Me and Hannah, it's just like me. When you try to wake her up, she's like, no, sleep some more. Sleep some more, Daddy. So during that time, I made peanuts. No healthcare, nothing at all. I was barely able to afford my rent, my food. But luckily, I have a sugar mama, a graduate student. My God, she's a rich girl. And she gave me all the money, the food, and every single thing possible. And all of those grad students, they loved me. And they brought me into all the world dorm, and I won't go into the details. But hallelujah, praise to the Lord. That's what was going into my mind. Now, as I thought about the whole experience, I pulled my heart and my soul out, and I'm not alone. There's so many teachers out there in this city, in America, who made so many sacrifices. They made $20-something thousand a year. They are the ones who are responsible for shaping the future of our country, of your children. Why are they being treated like that? No health care coverage, minimal pay, minimum wage. There's something seriously wrong with that. After this election, I'm going to run for councilman, perhaps even mayor. If you vote for me, I'm going to show you how it's done because I've been through it. I've been through it as a healthcare executive, as a physician, as a teacher. I know what it's like. I want to do something. I want to show you how to make that big change through my action, not my word, not my promise with you. Because I strongly believe that we can be a great city. Your city, our city. It can be greater than what it is. Thank you all. Back to you, madam.
Thank you, Dr. Harvey Tran. I'm always afraid to talk after him. He has so much energy. So thank you all speakers tonight. I was looking forward to your speeches and you guys did not disappoint at all. So we learned about networking, having a great hook, using your voice to speak up for yourself, and some of the problems in our educational system and what Dr. Harvey is going to do to fix them. Woo. So we will now move into our table topics portion of the evening, impromptu speaking, a chance to practice here. Before we do that though, I wanted to give you a couple of things I found when researching goofing off. We usually think of it as a lazy activity, procrastinating, but some people actually get paid to goof off. So it pays off to goof off. So I found a couple of jobs and I want to talk to you about two of them. The first one made me question my entire life and profession because it was such a cool job. Samsung has a program where they send employees overseas for a whole year, all expenses paid, and their only job for that year is to live in that country, immerse themselves in the culture, learn the language, and make friends. That's it, a year. Samsung does this because they want to be a global company with a global worldview, and they think that by sending employees, fairly young employees, overseas to get immersed in different cultures, they can help themselves build up that view. The second cool job I found was video game tester. You think of video games as goofing off, but some people get paid to do it, and it pays pretty well. Like I researched a number of websites, they make between $22 to $31 an hour, fully remote, flexible schedule. Why do we work? So let's move then into our table topics portion. This is a chance to, oh, sorry, timers report. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I definitely felt the moxie in the air tonight with all three. Yes. Everybody qualified. It was a phenomenal experience just listening to all three. They always bring the thunder. Sarah, Mary, you had 6 minutes and 59 seconds. Andrea, you had 7 minutes and 26 seconds. And Dr. Harvey, you had 7 minutes and 20 seconds. So awesome job. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jimmy. Okay, finally, table topics. So please help me welcome Toastmaster Jamie Richardson to lead us through that portion of the evening.
you, Madam Toastmaster. So I am Jamie Richardson. I am your table topics master today, which means I'll be facilitating the impromptu portion of our meeting. This is an opportunity for both our members as well as our guests to come up here and practice responding to an unrehearsed question. Each respondent will have 1 to 2 minutes to complete their response as per our timer's instructions earlier. And at the end, we will also vote for our favorite table topic speaker. So make sure you have that ready. All right, our theme tonight was goofing off. So my first thing that I did, I went to Google and I searched for goofballs. So I don't know, I thought famous goofballs would be an interesting set of questions to ask. And lo and behold, the first thing that comes up is that goofballs are apparently slang now for a drug chemical combination that combines heroin and methamphetamines. So now I have that in my browser history. So thank you, Toastmaster Lynn, for tonight's theme. In the good old days, goofball used to mean somebody who was silly or irreverent or easily distracted. And so tonight, our questions are going to be about famous goofballs, famous people who went on to accomplish great things despite when they were younger, perhaps being seen as crutches, right? Or seen as not living up to the standards of societal norms. So do we have any volunteers for our first table topics question, either in person or on Zoom? All right, we have one here in person. Sean, come on up, Sean. All right, your first question. So Albert Einstein was expelled from class for being too rebellious, perhaps having too much moxie. As a manager, so put yourself in a manager's shoes, how would you balance supporting members of your team who think differently or add unique perspective, but perhaps their goofing off becomes disruptive to the rest of the team?
Great, thank you, Table Topics Masters. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, honorable guests, Zoom members as well. How would I handle an employee or someone on my team who goofs off a lot? Well, I would goof off with the individual. If I knew that their outcome was good, then I would promote probably not a goof off week, but maybe a goof off day, or maybe goofing off once a month, or team building. I think I would promote some type of team building exercise where that individual gets to rub off everybody else. Maybe that may not be the right outcome. However, I need to figure out some way to manage the energy that person has, because maybe the task that he's doing or she is doing is very boring. And if she or he is feeling like that, then the other employees, their colleagues, are also feeling the same way. So I would probably promote some type of activity to loosen that and allow them to let go, and they can then focus on their work. I will turn it back over to our awesome Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Sean. Yeah, I liked the idea of giving space for goofing off, right? And recognizing that that is a valuable release mechanism for the team. All right, do we have another volunteer, either in person or on Zoom? We do. Is that Alan? Do I have that right?
Yes.
All right, Alan, welcome. Thank you for volunteering. Your question: Steven Spielberg, the famous director, so he applied to USC Film School, but was declined because in school he was known for being a daydreamer, spending his time sketching, thinking about his next movie, as opposed to focusing on grades. So what do you think about the importance of recognizing different cognitive abilities or talents versus academic performance, grades, and test scores when evaluating students?
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I feel like there are certain things that you cannot learn from school, things that you learn from the people that you hang out with, from your peers. And being street smart is something that you cannot learn from school, just put it that way. So I feel like when people go to school, they can make a fine line between, hey, I'm learning this. This is a knowledge that I can get from school, and then add my street knowledge, if I can put it that way, or my everyday knowledge to enhance that capability. If you have to talk about filming, I'm a video editor. What I learned at CPCC, Central Pictorial Community College, has nothing to do with with my imagination. Like you say, Albert Einstein said, imagination is the preview to life to come true. So you can be a good video editor, but if you don't have that imagination, you will not be appealing. You will not be exceptional. You will not stand out. So I feel like both schools and personal knowledge or street knowledge or everyday knowledge are good when they come together. If you have too much of one, that might be a sign of weakness, if I can put it that way. So to answer your question, I think both of them should be equal for you to be in good balance. Thank you.
Awesome answer. I like the idea of balance. I also like the notion, right, that imagination can't always be captured in traditional ways of evaluating intelligence or performance or academic achievement. All right, one more question I think we have time for. Well, actually, let me ask my Toastmaster. Do we have time for one more question? Yes, no? No. All right, that is our last question then. No. I think we're out of time, Dr. Harvey. We'll keep moving, but I appreciate the opportunity to ask these questions. I encourage all of you to find space in your lives also to goof off and recognize that sometimes talent doesn't always show up in the same way, and skills and achievement don't always show up in the same way. All right, back to you, Madam Toastmaster. Oh wait, sorry, timers report. Timers report. I also fell trapped. Classic blunder. All right, timers report. Jimmy.
Thank you for that. Yes, the timers report. So we have Sean at 58 seconds and we have Alan at 1 minute and 25 seconds. So they both qualified. Great job.
Okay, awesome. Please vote.
You're always so thoughtful. Those were really inspired questions and some great responses. Okay, so receiving constructive criticism and feedback is probably the best part of our meeting, right? That's what helps us become better speakers. And we are pressed for time tonight, so we will just go straight into that portion of the evening. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Sean, who will walk us through our general evaluations.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madeline. For tonight, as Toastmaster Model was mentioning, this is a very important time. It's where our speakers get to get evaluation on their speeches. And I'd like to introduce our first evaluator, who will be evaluating Sarah Mary on her speech. I'd like to introduce Toastmaster Farias. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sean. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests on Zoom. I'm going to be evaluating Sarah Mary, and I'm going to rebrand this club as the Queen City Moxie Club because there's so much moxie in here tonight. And it also sounds like a really good nightclub. So if anybody's in hospitality, you can, name it that. But so Sarah Mary, your topic was network like a champ. I always love hearing your speeches. I think you have such great, content structure and the way that you deliver it. So I wrote the feedback in those 3 categories. And so in terms of the topic, I think it's so relevant and relatable. We all here are into personal growth and development. So I assume a lot of people network here. So I love the topic because we can all kind of relate to it. I had no idea that the elevator pitch formula was 27 words, 9 seconds, and 3 points. So that's just so useful. And we all think of an elevator pitch to have that like for our business pitch, but you should have one for yourself. And that's a really good tip that we should all kind of take away from that. I also love how you kind of flipped the standard elevator pitch formula and leading with value more than just here's my name and this is what I do, which kind of falls flat in conversations. So I thought that was really neat. There's something that you said that really kind of stuck out to me is finding common ground. I thought that was a really good point. If anybody has masterclass, there's one of The Art of Persuasion by Daniel Pink, where he talks about selling techniques, and it's around attuning to your audience and really kind of paying attention to them and meeting them where they're at. And so I thought that that really kind of stood out to me, and using really empathy, right, to make that emotional connection so that you can, you can be more memorable in a networking event where there's a whole slew of people. In terms of organization, I thought the sequence and the transitions were good. Something that I was thinking as like an opportunity to improve is that you talked a lot about at the networking event, like how to network like a champ, but maybe doing like pre, during, and post, because networking is really understanding where you're going, who's going to be there in advance, so that you can go in with a strategy and a plan, right? And then what do you do after you leave the event? Like, how do you really make the most of it? So I think that's kind of an idea. In terms of the transition, the last slide, it was kind of quick and there was some audio in the back. So maybe just like pause a little bit if that happens, just so, the crowd can kind of get that. And then in terms of your delivery, I think your body language is always so great. You always kind of use the platform and the stage. You had some good vocal variety, which was fun. I thought it was a little bit tough to read the text on the screen. An idea there is maybe to use like characters, like the typical like 3 people that you see at a networking event, and just like with a funny photo, and then just, say like kind of what to do and what not to do. And I feel like that might be a good idea. But overall, great speech, and yeah, good job.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jenny. And for our second speaker, we have Toastmaster Laxer. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Laxer for evaluating our second speaker.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sean. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. And thank you, Toastmaster Andrea, for another excellent speech for our entire club. There are different types of escape or escapism. And when I first read your title, I was thinking about movies or books or vacations. But you opened up your personal life, you opened up your heart, and you shared with us a completely unexpected form of escape. What you had been going through, dealing with your allergy and trying to find a job where you felt safe in. And you did this through storytelling, which is an exceptional way to convey your message. And when you did so, it really gave your speech excellent flow and structure and made it easy for us to follow along. You had several outstanding quotes. One of them was, by the time I got to my supervisor, I was hysterical. And that's something that all of us could understand and relate to because of what you were dealing with. You also said something that was incredibly memorable and sent a valuable message to all of us. You said, my way of escape was me speaking up. And that's incredibly powerful because many of us find ourselves in situations where we don't speak up, but we must. And in doing so, your comment was, don't be afraid to speak up, because you may not only save your life, but someone else's. And that will stand out to me as being one of the most memorable things in your speech. Your delivery was excellent. You didn't just stand behind the lectern like I'm doing. You actually came out, and it made me feel like you were part of the audience and that we were part of your speech. But probably the most genius part of your presentation was that crinkle sound. And you used that repetitively, especially when you described going back to work after the pandemic, hearing everybody in their offices with those little packages that for most of us mean absolutely nothing at all, but carry such incredible weight and significance in your life. And so I feel like you did an excellent job with a fantastic topic. You delivered your speech, you used the stage, you used excellent quotes, and you left us with some aspects of it which are incredibly valuable and memorable. If I could shed some light on a couple of suggestions, one of them would be to enhance your vocal variety. I thought you used it well in certain parts of your speech, but I was sitting in the back and I didn't hear things well. I think sometimes because we're holding a microphone in our hand, we feel like the microphone carries our voice, but the microphone here really is only online, which I found out when I watched one of my own speeches. And so in summary, I think you did an outstanding job. Your speech was well delivered. You chose your content well, and you surprised me with the content being a little bit different than your title. So I look forward to hearing you speak again in the future. Thank you very much. And back to you, Mr. Toastmaster, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Laxer. And then now for our third speaker who will be evaluating Dr. Harvey Tran, we have Sean Zhang, who I believe is on Zoom.
Yes. Can you hear me right?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Sean. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm Toastmaster Sean number 2, and I'm really honored tonight to evaluate Dr. Harvey's speech. And he actually invited me today, this morning, which I feel like it's always a great honor to evaluate your speech. Your speech is always energetic. I wasn't sure if I'm coming, but when I thought about your speech style previously, I feel like I had to come. So, and you actually didn't really let me down. You actually maintained the same energy, and you're always a powerhouse, right? Like you always start with a great story. Today your topic is about connecting with story, and you did exactly by telling a story, a powerful story. And you started with the poll asking about anybody thinking that there's something wrong with our current education system, which is quite powerful because while we're thinking about this, and you actually immediately start with a story that really kind of hit the nail, which you kind of recall on your experience on your serving as an undergrad TA, that you were facing with the students that had difficulty with their homework and grades, and really you try to help them out as much as you can. And the way you tell the story was really funny. That I know you curse a lot, which I know it's your way showing humor and try to make people feel like you're part of the story, which is great. And then you tell, you just show how you actually solve a problem, which you actually work through it with those students, and you show how a good teacher can be, right? Can actually improve students' grades, and then you kind of hit on the nail that exactly we need to pay teacher more, and then you end your story with a call to action to vote for you. I don't know if I can vote for you for a mayor election, but I definitely vote for your best speaker speech. And then to actually for the areas to improve on, I think you can get a better evaluator than me, which it's difficult for me to find what you're doing wrong. You're doing perfect, and then if anything, you're doing a little bit sidetracking, which I know you're trying to. That just shows your comfort level. But if you sidetrack too much, it actually hurt the momentum you already built on. So I'll say maybe sometimes save a little bit sidetracking, and then just directly just hit the nail and just get to the call on action in the end. I think that will improve the overall structure a little bit more. That's all. Thank you. I look forward to your next speech, AJ.
All right, thank you, Toastmaster Sean number 2. Sean number 1. At this point in time, I'd like to ask for our timers report. Yes, our timers report. Mr. Timer, can you please provide us with your report for our evaluators this evening?
It had a little sticky button over here. Appreciate that, sir. Yes, for the timers report, we have everyone qualified again. Great job, Jenny. That was a very good, thorough evaluation. That was 3 minutes and 8 seconds. And Eric, phenomenal job again with 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Sean Z, you did a great job as well. That came in at 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much. Now, Now, at this point in time, I'd like to evaluate the meeting as a whole. First, I'd like to go with the evaluators that we've had. Great evaluations for everybody, evaluators for Jenny, Dr. Laxter, and Sean as well. I like that you guys were able to provide valuable feedback on how our speakers can improve. It's a difficult task to sit down and evaluate during the speech, because you're writing your thoughts down and you have to be able to concisely have your points made while everything else is going on. I've done evaluations on Zoom and I've done evaluations in here, and it's easier to do it on Zoom because you have less of the distractions. It's harder to do it in person. So I think you guys did a great job by helping our speakers and what they can improve on and noting their good points as well. So great job there. As for our Toastmaster of the evening, I love the theme. The theme was fantastic and everyone got into it as well. A great job with the timing. I really liked when Jamie was asking for a third speaker. And that's one thing I was noting as I was driving here, because we have 3 speakers, whether or not we would have enough time for table topics. So I was wondering if Jamie would ask our table topics master or our Toastmaster of the evening, whether or not we had enough time for one more. And I like how you responded because you were prompt. You knew what time it was. You knew how much more we had left. So that was a good response. And you were very mindful of how much time we actually have here. So good on that. At this point in time, I would like to ask John Capello for his grammarians report. So help me bring John Capello up to the stage.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Everyone did a wonderful job. I'm going to go ahead and walk through how everyone did on their filler words. Starting with Connor, we had 1 Jimmy had 2 ums. Madeline, a couple so's. Couple ums and a but for your first time as Toastmaster, that's a lot of transition. So that's pretty good. Colin, 1 1 Sarah Mary, 2 so's, kind of questionable whether or not they were needed, or me could have inserted a therefore, a furthermore. So it's always on the fence with so. Andrea had 2 ums. Dr. Harvey, 1 so. Jamie, I had 1 so, 1 couple uhs. Sean, Mr. General Evaluator, 1 so, 1 Ellen, one of our table topics, I had 2 uhs. Jenny, I had a couple so's, couple you knows, couple ums. Sean Zhang, we had 1 couple uhs. Eric, you were pretty clean. Then right at the end, you had 2 so's. Generally speaking, everyone did very well. I would like to call out Andrea, because at the beginning we talked about filler words, and what I said was the opposite of filler words is the pause. And what I'd like to give you special kudos for tonight, I thought you more than anybody embrace the pause. Let it sink in. Remember what the pause does? Allows it to sink into the audience so they can really truly feel the impact of what you were saying. It added to your speech, as well as give the speaker yourself kind of time to gather your thoughts as to what the next section you're going to cover. So I thought you did an exceptional job of that. In terms of the word of the day, we had a number of folks that used it. Jimmy, Madeline, Dr. Harvey, Jamie, and Jenny. Did I miss anyone? I think that's it. I'm going to go ahead and apologize to Andrea, because I took a page out of her former boss and said, wouldn't it be cool if I said and handed out a piece of candy to everyone who used the word of the day? And out of pure respect, I decided if anyone liked a piece of candy, you're going to have to see me after class. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, John. At this point in time, I'd like to turn it over to our Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sean, and all of our evaluators. Mr. Grammarian, thank you so much. So we will now move into our ballot counting for the evening. We get to hand out prizes. So please help me welcome Toastmaster Colin.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Madeline. Wow. I knew I was coming to Toastmasters tonight. I did not know that I was coming to Mox Fest 2022. Everyone absolutely moxed my socks off. And I aspire to your level of confidence, charisma, and eloquence. So thank you for providing me an example to strive for. The ballot counting came in very tight in all three categories tonight. Not many votes separated each of the categories. It was a pleasure to watch your speech, Sarah Mary, Andrea, and Dr. Harvey. And the best speaker tonight, the people have spoken, and it is Sarah Mary. In the table topics category, Sean did a wonderful job, as did Alan on Zoom. And the people have decided that Alan's table topic merits the ribbon today. Alan, next time you come in person, be happy to give you this. And finally, for Best Evaluator, there's some wonderful evaluations this evening. And the winner of tonight's ribbon is Jenny. I turn things back over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Colin, and congratulations to our winners. So my time as Toastmaster has come to an end. You guys have been a great audience. Thank you for keeping me on my toes and helping me survive my first Toastmaster of the evening. So I'd like to close with a couple of ways you guys can goof off for the rest of the evening. It's still, after all, National Goof Off Day. So take a quick 15-minute walk. The weather's nice. You can go see what your friends and family are doing on social media. Do a quick browse there. You can dance like no one is watching, preferably without music. Just makes it more fun. And you can do some stretching, or you can take a page out of Dr. Harvey's and Julian's book and arm wrestle with your spouse, your kids. Have a great evening, everyone. And I'll turn it back over to Toastmaster Vanessa.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Madeline. Excellent job guiding us through that agenda tonight. Before we wrap things up, I have a special announcement to make. We had several of our Queen City Toastmasters participate in a club contest a little while ago. And we now finally have some trophies to present to our winners. So I want to welcome Jamie, our club treasurer, to help us distribute those trophies in person to our winners. And I know we want to welcome Andrea Williams, Eric Laxer, and Connor Waite to the stage so they can accept their trophies. So let's give them a big round of applause.
All right. Thank you, Madam President. So yes, we are honored to finally award our trophies to our club speech contest participants, just like the Oscars coming up this week. So we'll get started because we are getting late and we don't want to get played off by the music. So our speech winner goes to Andrea. Congratulations. In the table topics, let's go to evaluation first. In the evaluation category, our first place prize goes to Eric. And our second prize goes to Andrea. So you might need an extra pair of hands here, Andrea. All right, on the table topics, our first prize goes to Eric. Actually, I might have given Andrea your other first prize. Apologies. Let's trade one out. Our second prize goes to Andrea. And our third prize goes to Colin. Sorry, Connor. Congratulations. All right, that does it for our awards. Congratulations again. And I think that's it for, do we have any other items, Madam President?
You know what? I think that's it from my end. So I think we're about ready to wrap up unless there are other announcements from the club officers.
I don't think
All right.
so.
It sounds like we're good. So thank you everyone again and enjoy the rest of your evening. Take some time to goof off, as our Toastmaster said.
Good night, everyone.
Hey, Elvis. Good night.